Hey everyone, and welcome back to Kharak Up 11. We're coming in now to the last round here. Gonna be played on Fiery Screen. Now let me pull up the standings here, so we can get a little bit of context about like what the importance of this match is. And let me also just make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. So the game is going to be between FrostyTeeth here playing as the Galzian, which is a pretty interesting pick right there. And we're going to get to see his awesome killers, by the way. And Maze is the Soban, which is of course his main. Now, at the time this was played, Maze was in 10th place, Frosty is in 4th. So, Maze is very desperately trying to hold on to his tournament life right here. Frosty, meanwhile, if he wins this, he actually is probably going to be in the, he's probably going to be... Hold up. No, I've got this wrong. I'm sorry, guys. Let me look at this now. At the time this... Okay, so Maze is in 10th place, yeah. No, Frosty is in 7th at this time. With 1 win and 2 losses. Okay, so if he can win this, he's going to be at least in the lower bracket, but he might get up into the upper one. I'm not totally sure. And that's great. That's definitely a higher result than we normally have seen from Frosty. He's going to be very happy with this tournament so far. And if he's got a chance to get up into the upper bracket, he definitely wants to win this game. Maze, meanwhile, is playing for his tournament life. He's got to win this one or else he's going to be eliminated in qualifier. Won't make it to the lower bracket. So both players obviously got a lot riding on this game here, so this is going to be one that they're very concerned with. And that's why I find it interesting that Frosty is going Galzian. But I get the feeling he's generally comfortable with, you know, pretty much every faction, so he doesn't seem to have any worry about that. And he's going to be going out aggressively with the production cruiser. Does manage to get that probe right in the early game, which is pretty nice. His opponent also going to get early LAVs, going to start producing those immediately. Maze Base Runner going straight to his extraction zone? It's a little interesting. I'm not exactly sure what he's going for with it. But some LAVs are out right now. And in case you didn't know, this is not a fight that the Galzian can win. But Frosty's going to know, okay, so I've made my opponent make LAVs here. He's not going eco first. And then he's got some options. It looks like he's actually just going to avoid the LAVs that are shooting him, just go straight for one of these salvagers. And I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, especially if he's getting blocked by the wreck like that. Yeah, that's obviously not ideal. Takes him down to 370 health or so. Does not get the kill on that one. And it's going to be an early assault ship tech. It's very aggressive now from Frosty. His opponent, meanwhile, going for AAVs. But the LAV fight, or the Strikecraft fight that is, not going Frosty's way, which is what we would expect. The LAVs are produced faster, and they will win in a one-on-one fight. They will lose, like, a war of attrition, if you will, because these Sandscreams can heal when they're out of combat, but getting into combat and getting out, obviously they don't have that range advantage either, and so that makes things difficult, obviously. Looks like the LAV is going to swing around over here and try to catch off that base runner. That is going to leave the salvagers just a little bit exposed, but there's an ALM right here. It's got to be powered up, yeah? Yeah, it is. And these LAVs not at all interested in coming back and defending. They're just going to leave that job to the ALMs. I'm not sure I agree with this, because this seems like you're going to lose eco for sure. Obviously the Saban carrier cannot hold off this attack. There's nothing it can do about that. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not totally sure about this. This looks a little bit suspect to me. Now, one thing Frosty can do that takes a bit of micro, but it's pretty nifty, is to split the guys up so that they don't get stunned together. An AAV comes out now. Once Maze smokes, Frosty will probably leave, but Maze still has not tossed that smoke. And he's actually going to go turbo aggressive. He's just headed right into his opponent's main now. Smoke is thrown right there, so yet Frosty's going to leave, as you can see. He knows he can't get anything done there, but now the assault ship is out. Remember, like I said, assault ships will beat AAVs. Actually, I don't know if I said that or not, but it's true. The thing is, though, the Saban carrier, and now he's going to want to power down the ALM and put it into the turret network. The Saban carrier actually has Sunder, right? That it does to those assault ships. But look at that, Armored Unit Defenses 1 is already finished. So these guys are going to be really hard to kill with AAVs. And I think Frosty even should go for another one of these techs. He's going to have some trouble down in the back lines now. He's going to wish he had gotten that artifact extraction. But he has gotten power reserve 1s. He's going to be able to hold this off. The LAVs should not be able to do too much damage. They really can't match, the power of assault ships. And sure enough, a lot of them are going to go down really for no gain there, although it was pretty close. So we still got all 6 salvagers alive there on the main. But Frosty going to be coming out a little bit ahead here. He's actually already got 4 salvagers, so this second base is like fully saturated, if you will, if he could actually be mining on it. And obviously he can't be because these, well, there's only 2 of them left, but The LAVs are there to stop him, but he's got the salvagers, so obviously rebounding, you know, back to full economy for him is going to be a lot faster. So yeah, like I said, I would get this tech now. Because one of the big reasons why you can't just push in with these guys is because of the Sunder ability right here. But if you get that tech, then you don't have to worry about that. Oh, but there are railguns out, it looks like. So now there is actually a legitimate, you know, counter to the assault ships, and Frosty will have to back away. He can keep the pressure up though, and that's exactly what he's doing. This is definitely a good move. And this is one reason why in A-Games mod the AAV actually wins the one-on-one fight here, because otherwise you get problems like this. This is not a particularly bad one, but there's a lot of maps where, oh yeah, like right here. Like if you just put the assault ships right there, what is your opponent supposed to do to take a third base, right? There's a lot of maps where you have that kind of situation on the second, it's just like terrible. Frosty gonna attempt to go back and take that second base. He probably does not know that those LAVs are there. But he'll learn pretty soon, won't he? Looks like Frosty actually rescinding that position. He's gonna back away. And I'm not sure I agree that there's only one railgun now. It's gonna be really hard for him to get a surround on you. I think you waste a lot more of your opponent's time by being back there. Yeah, LAV's doing their thing, being annoying, but 3 Sandscream's gonna come in, probably shut that down. And like I said, Frosty has the faster rebound off the back of this, doesn't he? And if he goes for refiner mode right now, in fact, he's gotten another production cruiser first. Oh wow, that's pretty spicy. I wonder, and along with Interceptor Fabrication 2, I wonder if he wants to just go in and attack some more. Because that would not be expected, right? Maybe that works out for him. Guess we'll have to see. But if it were me, I would be going for refinery mode now. That doesn't say too much, obviously. I'm not him, but I think it's the right move as well. Support cruiser's out, by the way, for me, so he's going to be on his second base pretty soon. Once he gets 2 more salvagers, that's obviously not going to take very long at all. And he's getting the heavy vehicles armor upgrades now, which is obviously pretty good. Probe there doing some good scouting as well, doing spotting for the railguns. Unfortunately, there is a dune between them there. Okay, yep, and refinery mode does come out. It's going to be delayed a bit because of the second production cruiser and the interceptor tech. It's quite a lot of delays, but the thing is, the interceptor is going to do a good job of taking out these railguns too. And Frosty's kind of gotten behind his opponent here too, hasn't he? Yeah, I mean, if interceptors get launched here and they take out these 2 railguns, suddenly these AAVs are in some big trouble, aren't they? And Frosty would have full field control in that scenario. That'd be pretty spicy. I mean, we got the first one finishing just now. Now there is a base runner here, so that's a little bit of soft anti-air. You do obviously have to micro interceptors to deal with that, but it's not much. And the assault ships, amazingly, are pushing into the back line here. Unfortunately for him, Maze is making some railguns just now. He hasn't got any anti-air on support cruisers, has he? That'd be a little bit of an overreaction. That's not, and obviously it's easy to say because he's getting it, but you know, he's seen assault ships right from the opener. Usually that's going to be followed by air, we just know how that goes. Looks like the air is just a little bit too late. Should be launching right now, but that's not really Frosty's fault, it took a little while longer to get it than he was hoping. There was potential for like this master plan, you know, to kind of like come out of the works here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen that way. However, air units are going to destroy these railguns here, which I think is awesome. That is, if they are targeting them, they definitely should be. Yeah, okay, he sees it now. But yeah, Frosty on 3 bases here. He's looking pretty strong, although he's not fully saturated over there. Last railgun will go down right here, if the interceptors ever decide to actually hit it. You know how it is with Galazine Air, right? Sounds like a company, man. Thank you for flying with Galazine Air. And Frosty gonna go for railgun fabrications. He's gonna move into assault ship rail, and that's a pretty spicy combo. So look at the damage. It's almost nothing, right? That's what will happen when AAVs try to attack fully armor upgraded units. This guy, unfortunately, not gonna meet a happy fate. He does go down. So amazingly, the AAV does actually go down eventually, but I think Frosty is going to deny the artifact. Oh man, it's close. Yeah, he will. That's pretty clutch. That was a good use of an assault chip. Obviously, it looks a little funny, like you're just gonna not even worry about the fact that he's getting shot by these like AAVs, but actually no, it makes sense. He stopped the artifact this way. He needs to be careful. It doesn't want to fly over the missile battery. There's 2 of them out now, so that claims the life of 1 interceptor. But he sees it, he's gonna back away, and I think that's fine. That's you know, handleable losses. If that's the thing that you can say. I'm not even really sure. Nice. Yeah, one singular Sandstormer. They're trying to be a little bit annoying, but not going to get too much done. Well, the entire army for FrostyTeeth is off the field now, but I think one thing that's worth talking about is that he's got a bit of money. Yeah, and he's going to start spending it now. Obviously, it's better not to be floating like this if you can keep the momentum up by making units, you know, during the time that you're fighting. That's obviously better. But that should show just how far ahead Frosty pulled in economy. If you look on the other side, Maze is not that far. He's been a bit more scrappy. He's been making units constantly, but he's not got really much on the field himself, has he? Just like 3 railguns, 3 AAVs. And it's a common trap, I'd say, to try to play rails against Soban. You can't do it, but with air, I think it's definitely possible. Especially because, you know, like right now, missile batteries are being used for anti-air, right? Excuse me. If it comes to a rail war, I hiccuped again. Often you can just target the missile battery, and once you can kill that, the interceptors can just come in and do whatever they want. Plus, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Missile batteries are good anti-air, obviously, but they're very slow. And if the player, you know, with this really big vision that he gets for having the interceptors, can just figure out where they are, he never has to actually take any shots from them. So it does take a little bit of micro to keep the missile batteries, you know, with your army there. It's 3 assault railguns, 3 heavy railguns. He's doing this obviously because he needs to worry about strikecraft. And Maze is a player who I've known before to just like do this insane transition into like mass LAV, just at totally random times. So that's actually very valid. And that's a good thing that Maze does, mind you. He catches his opponents off guard quite a lot. And what that means is that Frosty cannot just make full heavy railguns. He's got to worry about you know, making assault railguns too. So that's a good move. 3rd production cruiser is out, so the carrier is free to move now, and Power Reserve 3 has actually been researched. That's very relevant. And I imagine we're going to see him go for Power Reserve 4 once he's got the RUs for it. But Frosty, you know, very aware of where those missile batteries are. He's poking in, trying to see if he can find some value. Hasn't found any just yet, and he falls back. He's very careful. That's what we want to see. Maze still not really with any army, only still 3 railguns here. And that could be a serious problem if things move on this way. That guy's clearly shooting through the terrain, but that's totally fine. Because right now the heavy railgun count is definitely outnumbering his opponent, right? That should not be happening. I mean, Maze had so much more time to build up here, but I'm not sure what he spent his money on, honestly. He started floating, yeah. He's built up like 1,000 CUs here, not really made anything. Oh, that doesn't usually happen. The base runner actually does find its way underneath the carrier there, so Frosty going to start extracting artifacts, and that's great to see. LAV is going to get a little bit of an encirclement over on these sandskimmers right here. And there are 2 missile batteries here, so I imagine they're going to take this guy out without too much difficulty. Isn't that weird looking when the cluster mortar fires like with no arc? It's just like it just explodes instantly. Maybe there should be a minimum range on those guys, I don't know. You know, one thing I would do if I were Frosty is just like send 1 interceptor out to snipe down the probe. I always love doing that. And you know, it does make a difference. They're pretty expensive, and if your opponent hasn't got a base runner, which in this case he hasn't, they're gonna have to rebuild that. Yeah. Actually, he only loses 1 intercept. That's incredible, because he just passed through 2 missile batteries and a support cruiser. I really feel like he probably should have lost all of those guys, but still, going to be a sobering reminder of why he can't just dive in. And it looks like, you know, like I said, Maze sometimes switches to LAVs at just the most random times. Well, he's done it. There are assault railguns here, but there's not that many. So, you know, maybe it'll work. Definitely what should be noted here, though, is that if it comes to a railgun war, Maze loses, so he can't take that. But these guys getting way out of position. They're definitely going to get dunked on by these LAVs, I'd say. Armor 2 is finished, I think. No damage upgrades just yet, so it's going to take a bit of time, but Railgun War is getting taken anyway, and amazingly Maze is actually taking this because look, the carrier's like kind of awkwardly blocking all the railguns from firing. Oh, and this is kind of disastrous now for Frosty. Suddenly things aren't looking too good for him. It's really funny how that can happen in just one engagement. He's going to launch the air units. He can take out the missile battery, right? Take it out with the railguns. Oh, you've got vision on it, don't you? I think he does. You know, maybe he didn't actually. Yeah, I don't think he did. So maybe he didn't even know that that thing was out there until he launched the air units. That's entirely possible. Well, the LAVs obviously want to come up here and take out these railguns, but the carrier's in a good position to stop it, and things actually look fine for Frosty. For a second, I thought that was like, not, you know, game ending, but quite problematic. But it's actually looking pretty much okay for Frosty at this point. Yeah, this is actually looking fine. The railgun count is quite high now for the Sublime player, and I don't know for Frosty. They're all spread out across the map, and this carrier is actually in a lot of danger. Oh, you gotta get this guy out of here. You gotta go, my friend. But this backstab here is gonna be huge. They're all stunned, but yeah, this is gonna be huge once he just moves that in there. He's probably a little busy over on this side of the field, naturally. He can use Base Runner Heal to keep that carrier alive a little bit longer, and he should be fine to back away, but he's obviously not going to be able to use the carrier for too much in the immediate future. Missile battery painfully slowly getting killed by Sandskimmers right there. Obviously that thing's got a lot of armor. Yeah, that backstab I talked about is not doing as much as I thought, but it really should be over here anyway. There's less ALMs, there's more eco. There's no one mining RUs from here. I don't think there ever has been anyone on RUs over there. That's a missaturation. That's kind of terrible, actually. The fight is still not decided. May's definitely more defensive here. I think you can tell he's kind of in the defensive stance. But he's holding on just fine. And he is taking pretty good trades, I think. Look at the units lost here. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like 2,000 Cs higher for Frosty, which is good. But Frosty still has that field control, and he's been extracting artifacts. He's got 4. Oh my gosh, look how many base frames he's got out now. That's perhaps a little bit overkill. And this backstab here finally just has paid off. Support cruiser goes down, and Maze's army kind of getting pulled too thin here. And that's exactly what you need to do when you've got this kind of field control. Parts are 5 now finishing for FrostyTeeth. Obviously, you can unlock the ability from the carrier, the missiles, which I'm not a big fan of, but they are very good. It's just I don't like them, you know, for different reasons. But I'll still use them, you know. Gonna fly over the anti-air right here, and I think that's probably has got to be the end for the interceptors. Okay, I was about to say, like, if that guy gets away, I can't believe it. Railguns are gonna find the assault ships. Yeah, maybe. This is a weird fight, man. It's just because of this dune right here. Something weird going on with the decals, right? I don't even know what's happening here. It's too hard to see. But I mean, obviously. Oh, and then he's gonna fire the missiles. Oh, you dirty man. That's very well done, because that's where the entire army is, really. Sandskimmer's gonna come in on the back line. They're not gonna be able to find too much. The missile battery obviously gonna be able to tank tons of health. And there's ALMs everywhere. And it looks like the LAVs want to stop this extraction. And that's fair, but I don't think they're going to get it. Especially not if they rescind high ground like that. Yeah, they were never going to get that one. But yeah, Frosty definitely did just take out his opponent's entire army there. He's got a bunch of heavy railguns, he's got a bunch of assault railguns now. That's a good match. And we don't usually see assault railguns played down into late game here, but Frosty's making it work. Armor 3 coming out on those railguns just now. It's a little late, but there's still no damage upgrade, I don't think. There is now on the LEDs. And that's good, that's what he needs. But, yeah. Those railguns are going to be pretty tough to kill. And this is that 4th extraction. This is where the pressure really starts to get mounted for Maze. Definitely going to want to stop this extraction, but I really doubt that he can. That's going to go through. And now he's really going to be feeling a little bit flustered, perhaps. This backstab's doing a lot of damage to him, and there's artifact pressure over here. So he needs to have his army presence strong in both areas. And his army is just really not right now. The carrier missile barrage took out so many of those railguns, he's really in a tough spot now. And he was probably the favored player here too, so he's probably going to be a little bit flustered as well. Vehicle damage 2 coming in for the LAVs, that's going to be really impactful, help him take out those railguns. Oh, and this is so exposed right now. But there's only like 4 LAVs that got through. That's pretty unfortunate. This is obvious. This is honestly not really that impactful, is it? Oh well, I guess it's going to do a lot more damage than I thought it would. It's going to take out the sport cruiser. I was saying that because the main base is practically mined out anyway. But Mazes is not somehow? That's kind of odd, but there's not much left in it anyway. He definitely shouldn't rebuild that base, but this is very impactful right here. And again, this missaturation has been going on the entire game. He's not gotten a single RU out of this patch here, which is really sad. Maze is going to return the favor now. There's an interceptor to try and damage them, but honestly the LAVs can just kill it. Yeah, that's what they're going to do, you can see that now. The line of sight is so weird when you're like fighting interceptors. Because technically they count as like 2D units, you know what I mean? So if it flies over here, it's like, well, it's behind the hill, you can't see it, right? It's really strange. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Well, this is the last artifact, isn't it? You gotta put down an ALM or something. He's gonna do it, but I think that's gonna deploy too late. That extraction will go down, and FrostyTeeth is the winner. Nice. With that win, where is he in the standings now? That puts FrostyTeeth in 4th. Wow. All right. No, that puts him in either 4th or 3rd. I can't tell. So that is really good. I think that's a lot further than he expected to come in this tournament. Wow, that's exceptional. Nicely played to him, man. Nicely played. I think that was honestly just a really good match. Lots of just like constant pressure all over the field. That's exactly what we want to see. That's kind of like, that's the sign of, you know, kind of high tier play here. So it's not what we tend to see from FrostyTeeth, and it's very exciting. I'm trying to get the camera to bug out, but it doesn't want to. Yeah, awesome. That was a good match. Too bad for Maze, but he played pretty well too. I think you should be proud of this match too. Well, I'll go ahead and catch you guys in the next one, huh?